Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Sarah Steffen. I'm a chiropractor and wellness practitioner in central Wisconsin. Last week, I had a really popular video come out about how to do some stretches for your low back before you even get out of bed in the morning. And I got some really great feedback on that. And a few people asked me, can I do the same thing for your neck? So that's what today is all about. Today, we're going to be talking about how to warm up your neck when you first get up in the morning. And quite honestly, you can really do these anytime throughout the course of the day. I recommend doing some of this throughout the course of the day to keep your spine mobile and in motion. So, unlike the last week's video where you do them literally still laying in bed, this one you're probably out of bed, right? And if we're going to warm up our neck, it's probably because we've got a little bit of stiffness or soreness or something that's happened that just allows us not to move as fluidly as we'd like to. These are not rocket science moves, guys. These are really, really simple. But I think what happens a lot of times is we just don't know what to do, so we don't do anything. So even though these are really simple, it gives you somewhere to start so that you can be like, oh, I can build upon this from now, right? So what I want you to do is I'm just simply going to walk you through what I call my 2x2x2s. I learned these from a seminar a few years ago, and they really stuck. And I've taught many of my patients how to do these. I recommend everyone really do these just to keep the spine moving. As we say in the chiropractic world, motion is lotion. So if you want to keep your spine moving, you got to keep it moving on a regular basis, if that makes sense. So 2x2x2s. What you're going to do is you're going to be turning your head in all the different directions. So 2x2 is you're going to be looking side to side 2 times through, right? And then you're going to tilt your head. So side, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. You'll notice that I don't naturally have as much range of motion going one way to the other. I have some degeneration in my neck, which is a lot of times what causes stiffness for people. And degeneration isn't necessarily something you can like reverse, but we can keep it from progressing by continuing to, like I said, move that spine. Now, the other 2x2 is you're going to look up and back as far as you can. So you're tipping that, you're kind of jutting that chin out and up and back and looking up and back, extending that head back. And then you're going to look down, but you're not just going to like look down like you're looking at your phone down. You're going to purposely kind of like bring in your chin, tuck your chin, and then bring your head down. When you do that, you should feel a nice stretch in that posterior part of the neck, potentially even up into the skull, right? So you're doing each of those 2 times through. So again, you're rotating and you're looking over one shoulder and the other shoulder, doing that twice. You're tipping your head, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. The goal here really truly is to get way closer to our shoulder than most of us can. Most of us don't have the range of motion we really need, but we want to continue to work on it. And I bet you if you worked on these on a regular basis, if you added these in every morning when you woke up, every night when you brush your teeth before you go to bed, whatever it might be, you'll notice changes and improvements in your range of motion. And then again, the last one is looking up and back and then tucking that chin and looking down. So those are your 2x2x2s. I have one more exercise to add on to this as well. This is my favorite. This is called the up and overs, right? So what you're going to be doing is, I'm actually kind of perfectly situated right now because what you want to kind of almost imagine is that you're going to be looking up and back to an opposite corner. So you're going to be looking up and over each shoulder. You're not just kind of going like this, but you're really purposefully kind of arcing that head up and back. And my eyes are going to track as if I'm trying to look at that corner behind me, right? So I'm looking up and back. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to look up and back, right? And you can hold it there for a few seconds. It feels really kind of nice. The next step to add on to that up and over is to add in your thumb. This is almost maybe a little bit easier because you're going to be watching your thumb going up and back on either side. So what you're doing is you're putting your thumb in front of you, kind of, I just have my thumbnail, I'm going to stare at my thumbnail. So if I have my thumbnail in front of me, I'm going to have my hand arc in the direction of that backwards corner, and I'm following that as I move, right? So I'm going to do that on both sides. So then if I look over my left shoulder, I've got my left thumb in front of me. So I'm looking up and back Again, staring at that thumb the whole time that I'm doing that. Again, you can do that a few times as well. The really cool thing that I find fascinating, because the human body is totally fascinating, is that when you add in that movement with your thumb and your arm being up and in a sagittal plane, you're firing up the low back muscles on the opposing side of that lower back. So even if you don't think you're doing anything for your lower spine when you're working on your neck, by adding in those up and overs with your thumb specifically, you're also firing up that low back, which I find so cool. So those are our exercises today, guys. 2x2x2s and up and overs. They are not rocket science. They are really, really useful though. This is not meant to like treat a neck problem, by the way. If you have a problem with your neck, seek out the care of a professional, right? Find a chiropractor in your area, go to your primary care, go to a physical therapist, whomever you might need to or want to go to find out what you need to do to potentially solve a problem. These tips are just for those people who, like I said, wanted to have some stretches in the morning when we wake up. And at the same time, these are also things you can do throughout the course of the day in whatever status of health you have, just to continue to move that spine, right? Like I said earlier, motion is lotion. That's what we need. We need our spine moving in all planes, and that's what this does. So, what do you think? You're going to add those in? Because I add them in all the time. In fact, I do them. I don't really care if I look stupid. I do them while I'm standing in line at the grocery store. I do them while I'm stopped at a stoplight. I do my 2x2s all the time. So if you do them, drop me a line, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Please give me a thumbs up if you haven't already on this video, and subscribe because I've got new content that comes out every Monday and Thursday. Thanks for tuning in.